Hey, Brian here from Rubcorp. We're here at Steadfast Fitness and Performance, joined here by Jared, co-owner of Steadfast. How you doing, Jared?
Doing good, man. Can't complain.
Good. Thanks for having us over today. We are standing here on this beautiful track surface. This, of course, is Jonathan, Vice President of Rubcorp.
That's right. So, first of all, thanks. Thanks for all you do. Guys, I can't tell you how many shots that you see in here. They're so receptive, and we're talking about a facility that brings in NFL Combine guys, that brings in professional and collegiate track teams. From the highest end to the struggling person at the lowest level, you do a lot of that and really welcome us in. We've got our logo on the surface that you've seen many times, and we appreciate what the core values that you guys bring, the way you go about your business, and really appreciate the partnership that we've only just begun. So
we love it.
Thanks for that. So just want to walk us through and tell you a little bit about what this gym, kind of what inspired, and I say gym, and that seems like such a menial team term, right?
No,
so
I get it.
Talk about a little about what inspired this and what got us started, and then what's been transpired that got us to where we are.
Absolutely. Well, most people know the gym world is typical, right? You got a lot of people in there trying to lift weights, trying to lose weight. And we wanted a place where you didn't have to worry about the meatheads, you didn't have to worry about all this testosterone going on in one room. We wanted a place where families could work out. Right?
So you brought estrogen. So Brian works out here 8-9 times a day. So it is estrogen is bringing it down.
All day, every day. So, this is what I have to do.
So families.
Yeah, families, man. Families are huge for us here. We want to make sure everybody feels good. You know, it's already tough. Like, hey, I'm going to the gym. I'm trying to either prove something to myself. I'm struggling. I'm trying to gain weight, lose weight, gain muscle, whatever it is. It's already tough. Mm-hmm. So we want to make it easy for people. So the atmosphere is key for us, and we want to make sure families are welcome. And myself, dealing with type 1 diabetes, I was actually diagnosed in 2009. My business partner had gone through a number of surgeries, and together we wanted a place that kind of showed or exemplified what we've been through. So we put together a small facility at the time, and then now we're here in a much larger facility, and we wanted to show people what it meant to be steadfast. And that's why, we named the company Steadfast.
Absolutely.
But with that being said, we wanted to make sure our gym was functional. Mm-hmm. So we wanted to make sure it was easy access. We also want to make sure it was safe, and by any means, you work hard and you have fun while doing it. So hence, all of our surfaces in here, all of our flooring in here is easy on the knees. You guys made it twice as easy to make sure people can run and jump and do all of our functional movements on this surface here.
I like to say 5 times, but twice feels just as
Let me jump into I want to test that. Listen, I work out with you guys, for what now, 2 years maybe?
Yeah.
It is so much fun. Honestly, the atmosphere that you guys, the energy that you and the other trainers, Isaiah and Pete and Jackie, and man, you guys are just a amazing team of people. It is so fun to be here. It is fun. The people that you attract in here, everybody that I've met is fun. It is just a great place. Everybody's got to check this place out.
Man, we appreciate that. And with that being said, there's a number of different activities that people can be involved in. We've got boxing. We've got obviously our track. We have classes and boot camps. We run every day.
Every day.
So like 13 classes, 13 boot camps a week. So there's a number of different equipment in here, strength and conditioning equipment. We've got wood weight treadmills. We've got all the above, the whole nine, right? We service anywhere from ages 6 and up. So we've got some 6 and 7-year-olds at the youngest age, and then we got like 71, 72-year-old ladies and guys in here. Mm-hmm. So it just shows you how functional we are here, and it only complements itself with making sure it's easy access for all the families.
Let's talk a little bit about the track itself, and we'll get a bigger look at it. I call it a track. It's really kind of a track-shaped platform surface. So what are some of the activities that you use, from not only a functional standpoint, but even a high-level elite athlete kind of form and tweaking standpoint?
Yeah, so ideally, whenever you're trying to start, we start with foundation, right? So we want to make sure from the foot, the ankle, the knee, the hip, on up, everything's grounded. So typically we tell people to take shoes off, right? And most gyms you go to, they're like, hey, no, keep your shoes on. You don't want to drop anything, hard surfaces, all that good stuff. Well, this flooring's so functional and it's so easy and soft on the knees, we can actually tell people to take shoes and socks off and go through balance, stability techniques, all the above, just to make sure that foundation is set. And then, you know, that's kind of baseline. And then from there, if we've got a high impact athlete, a pro level guy, and we need to open them up a little bit with high impact, get them running some sprints or get them dropping heavy weight, we can do that as well. So with some of our classes that involve like Olympic lifts, you know, hand cleans, power cleans, snatches, after you finish and get that weight above your head, you're dropping it, you're letting it go. And you go to most gyms and they say, what, don't drop the weight,
right?
Because they're trying to protect the floor.
Sure.
We don't have that problem. So that allows us to be functional across the whole gym. And then by any means, we got the track here, it's multicolored. So then we can separate, you know, different activities amongst the color of the track as well. So sometimes we may have a sprint going down in the blue lanes, and then sometimes we may have a jog or a dynamic movement, whether it's a lunge.
Oh, nice.
Down the gray lanes.
Lane-based stations.
It won't. Make it easy.
I also like how you guys delineated the boxing over here. You got some
on the
Yeah.
boxing. The boxing
This is pretty cool.
Boxing's awesome. We actually have 10 heavy bags, and when we're in our boxing class, I like to have them run back and forth. Sometimes it's tough to transform to the turf, so we put them on the track. I tell them, you know, go down and back on the track 2 or 3 times, makes it easy for me.
Right.
And then we get back into it.
Yeah.
And then we also have the segmented way here on the track. We've got some areas that will exemplify a starting line.
Gotcha.
So we have that to where our track athletes that come in, they're able to know exactly where to start, where to put their starting
Can
blocks.
pace their blocks off. They can get a regular starting area. You're not just guessing.
Makes it easy on them, so they're not guessing.
Meters and yards, I'm assuming.
Yeah, meters and yards.
Yep.
We have black and white markers that will resemble yards and meters, and
Or
that helps
US
us
and
go
the
out.
rest of the world.
That's it, US and
Right.
rest of the
So
world.
it's kind of like a good, better, greatest
That's
ever.
it. That's
Good,
exactly
better,
right.
greatest ever. Look, butterfly.
Sting like a bee.
That's right. I want to pause for a second and point out something that you said that I think most people won't know. If you're a guy that goes and hits the treadmill, when you discuss foundations being grounded, that's cutting edge stuff, guys. That's not the way we grew up being trained in football.
Hit the concrete.
First of
hit the
all,
pavement.
you get a drink. Don't you get any water, right?
Exactly.
What are you, weak,
What is water?
right? Yeah. What is water? But so we've seen that recently in the highest end athletes. So, for example, Steph started out his career what? He had a lot of ankle and
injuries.
problems, and how did they go about that?
Starting from foundation. You know, when it comes down to working from foundation up, you got to make sure whatever surfaces you're training on and healing on is proper. So for him, you know, specifically, they couldn't just throw him on a concrete floor or or turf per se. They had to make sure at least they had a little bit of give, but still some firmness in the foundation of the floor. So from his training sake, you know, being able to make sure from the foundation up was set and easy, it made it simpler for him to be, you know, to recover quicker.
So not only that, they literally taught Steph. So we're talking about an NBA athlete, which I would argue is probably the most elite version of professional athlete. They're not even humans. They're superhumans, right? So giant people that run faster and jump higher than most anybody could ever dream. They had to teach him how to run again. So he was running improperly. Guys like, and the reason why NFL athletes come here with Jared and Isaiah is because it's cutting edge. But not every big man getting ready to go to the draft understands that. They've just always been bigger and faster. So going back, for example, with Steph, we got to teach him how to run. And since then, doesn't have injuries. So not only do they teach him how to run, but on a surface like this. So I just think that's a great point that shows a lot about your level of kind of professionalism and things like that. So, hey, Chief. So I want to look at this service specifically and how we use it with these heavy bags. So this is something to point out, or we use services Jared's found out. So properly, if I throw a jab on the bag, set up and throw one, right? So okay, so throw your hook, right? So okay, so notice what he's doing here as he does this on the surface. So I didn't mean for you to be my demonstration guys here. So
Make it easy.
Thanks, but while he's here, because we're talking about the surface, if you notice, when you throw a punch, most of us, we grow up and we go like this, right? So a proper, we're coming here with our jab, but when I throw my hook, what do I do? I'm twisting out.
Yeah, pivot
What
on
does
the
that do on a vulcanized mat? What does that do on, God forbid, it's something painted or, you know, separates the mats, right? It cuts it out pretty good. And I'm not going to say that this surface isn't going to take its wear and tear, but you're on a soft surface that can grab you. I'm not getting a spin. Instead of me going like this, I'm getting a little bit of grab from it, right?
Yep.
So
got some grip on there, and also the wear is better on this surface than any other surface we use. Either you're talking most surfaces that we use, it becomes what I call ashy, and then it becomes really, really slick,
right,
and it's really worn, and then you can actually see those worn down areas. And with this here, you got good grip, good foundation. And I'm always teaching line work, you know, and I'm always teaching people, hey, foundation, foundation, foundation. It's a lot easier to grip the ground on this surface, especially when you're boxing.
Jay, I've taken your boxing class, right? And I know how much you sweat, right? So I'm gonna throw everything you said in there, and then I'm dripping sweat, coming off this bag, and I'm creating my own filthy, sweaty mess underneath here. And if I don't have this grip, man, I'm gonna be sliding around all over the place. So as you're pivoting, like you said, you know, if you don't have that grip, you know, it's creating a dangerous atmosphere for sure.
And to be honest, as far as moisture is concerned, we haven't had any issues.
Yeah.
I know on the other surfaces we have, but we haven't had any issues with the moisture. So sweat, water, you know, somebody sprays a water bottle or whatnot, you know, it dries pretty quickly.
Yeah.
which is great. Yeah. So it's great. Great meeting. The more we talk about this, the more it kind of brings us down to the functionality of it. So, number one, sweat. What's in sweat and what eventually grows on sweat, right? It's salt. It's microbials that are coming into it. Another advantage over this on pretty much any other surface is so we have a fine grind there, we have a coarse grind here. So it's porous so that it's not slick because it's not pooling up on your surface, right? Number two, there's not seams. There's not a collection of what ends up being hair, skin, snot, bile, whatever else comes out of a person who's bleeding like what this guy looks like hitting the bag. So if you got rubber mats, that collects in there. Well, eventually you pick that mat up and you're gonna get a good taste of what happens. So that's a great thing. So I'd say all this, and I wanted to point out this area because we had the same area here, and the reason this looks newer is because we recently repaired it, and we repaired it because they've been in here pounding these heavy bags with dudes this big and twice his size, working, and it was getting a little worn. So that's what happens on the surface, right? That's what happens on any surface. We're not going to say this is made out of titanium. And so we came in, did just a spot repair on it along with some other additions. Talk about a little how that repair process went and the results.
That repair process actually happened fairly quickly. We caught it quick, and we recognized that there were some areas that just needed to be touched up and possibly added some additional, you know, smooth surface on the top. And I think it was within 24 hours we were ready to go again. You know, and to be honest, it was dry a lot quicker than the 24 hours, but just for safety and security, it was about a 24-hour process. Came in the morning, they were done in the evening, and then the next day we were ready to go, ready to put back weights on there, running, all the above, so we didn't have any issues. And it's still holding up really good right now.
Awesome. Yeah. So just to point that out, that we're not going to pretend you're going to put this in with giant athletes and it's not going to get damaged, it's not going to get scraped. We have guys that push sleds on this surface, right? That you get a 200-pound guy and weight down a sled and go to work on it, it's going to get some wear. You're going to know. It's going to stand up better than basically any other surface, but you get some damage, you get some wear, it's not a done deal. We're not pulling up half the gym tiles. It's not going to cost you, oh, that spot's bad, throw it out, right? You just come in, you do a spot repair, and you bring it pretty good. So I want to take a little bit more time and talk more about you, less about us and service. So talk about your gym setup. So what they've got here, guys, and what we'll see as we come around, and this is cutting edge stuff. It's why NFL guys, come over here there, Chief. It's always hanging around awkwardly. So it's again, the reason these guys, higher end athletes, come here, look at the variety they have in their gym. We're not going to tell you, we want to put this all over your whole gym. Let us, we're ready. But we've got a variety here. So there are times in which this is not as good as, say, a turf surface because the guys play on turf. If they played on rubber all the time, that'd be better. So talk a little bit about what brought on the functionality of the way this is and why you're set up in
Absolutely.
the whole facility.
So ideally we're a square box, and with the square box we wanted to make sure we kind of have 4 quadrants. We wanted to make sure, one, we could take care of cardio movement stuff, so the track, which we have, so you can actually get the track feel. And then we also wanted to make sure typical people wear tennis shoes, right? We got tennis shoes, so we have kind of a polyurethane type surface over here, but we have all of our cardio equipment in this area. So you have that segment of the gym. And then if you move and take a peek right on the other side of the cardio equipment, you have our turf. And our turf, you got football players, you got soccer guys, you got lacrosse, all the above when it comes down to kind of turf or grass-oriented sports. We wanted to make sure we could simulate that so people could work on a pro shuttle or a 10-yard burst with cleats on. So we have that. And then the cool thing is even on this turf, we run boot camps on it. So we can put weights, we can put strength and conditioning equipment, we can put sleds, tires, but we can move it immediately and then get right back to football-oriented, soccer-oriented stuff. And then as you move kind of down the center of the facility, we've got all the top-of-the-line strength and conditioning equipment. Shout out to Sornex. They provide all of our strength and conditioning equipment. So racks, some people will call them rigs, they're functional. So you can put or attach different equipment to those racks. So if we want to do a bench press or we want to do a pull-up, we can actually remove certain pieces of equipment to make sure we can execute all those exercises. And then from there, you see we've got medicine balls, we've got TRX straps. It just shows you how functional the cages are. And right now you would think it's a mess in here, but we're moving so much throughout the day. And we have our boot camps, our classes, our personal training running back to back to back.
It looks like you're set up for a boot camp coming up.
Correct.
Right?
We got a boot camp in a couple hours.
Yep. Here, so.
We're about ready to go.
And here's the thing I noticed with your gym, because I've done some of your boot camps and everything. Every time I come in, it's something different. So you walk in here like, what are we gonna do today?
We gotta mix
like,
it up, right? Nobody likes to come into a gym and do the same
Jared's like, whoa, you're gonna get it on today, and then man, do we ever? And I'm just pouring sweat.
That's it.
So it is always fun.
And then we have kind of a complementary area. We have a rest and recovery room.
Okay.
So rest and recovery room, injury prevention. It's a room set for, hey, look, I need to relax a little bit, need to chill. Just got done working out, might need some therapy. So we have that additional in the gym. So to complement what you guys were saying earlier is as far as, families being here and then the elite athlete, we try to make sure we're a one-stop shop. So you don't have to go anywhere. We don't have to send you to some ortho or some PT guy to get this service. We have it all in-house right here.
So I think, and what you've seen, and kind of, look, it's not a huge facility, but I think it's an advantage of it. And you don't often come, we were in the Indianapolis Colts training facility. There is not this variety, right? So it truly is set up for the kiddos to get some work in and actually come to do a workout, not a daycare, right?
That's it.
Come here to get some work in, and all the way to, you've got a fine athlete that you're training on a foundation that you need to get small tweaks that's going to change their 40 time from 4.59 to 4.51, and he weighs 340 pounds. So it's just really a unique area, and you don't get this in chains, right? So we've got this rig right here this is only a high-end rig. This is not what you see. If it's in your garage, then you're doing something high-end anyway, right? And you don't see it in LA Fitness, and you don't see it in Ballet. You're not going to see it in all those places. So that's great, and again, it really what makes it great, and it's really a personality for you guys. And so Isaiah, as we know, if we were standing here, we got big. He's Mike Lowry.
Mike Lowry, exactly.
And you got Jared, who's a little ball of fire and ready to go get him. And so it's a perfect kind of resemblance of who you are as a personality.
That's it, man. You got to have both, right?
Yeah, it's great. So let's talk. A couple minutes here. Where are we headed? What's the plan?
Yeah, so that's good question. So ideally, when we put this thing together, we wanted to make sure we could handle it ourselves, right? We knew and recognized that you see all these big box gyms and you see all these gyms from who franchise, and we said, you know what, one, it's hard to duplicate, you know, individuals, right? It's hard to duplicate a culture. So for us, we want to make sure we can hold the fort down right here. Okay, so we want to make sure kind of this is corporate. So this is corporate, and then from here, myself and Isaiah have talked, you know, possibly about franchising, but really, I'm from Houston, he's from Seattle. If we ever had to duplicate this and expand, it would probably be one in Houston, one in Seattle.
Well, that's why you found your way down here to Godstown.
That's it. And so from there, we're set in stone pretty well, but ideally, this platform that we're on now is great, right? But we want to be even bigger. Right now, we've got about 40 yards of turf. We want like 80 to 100 yards of turf, right? We want indoor and outdoor football
Tell them
field.
just run twice.
So that too, right?
Yeah, right? Turn around.
We want to make sure our track, one day you guys are going to come and do the other side of a track.
Yeah.
And we're going to have a full lane,
You got a
100
loop?
meter, and a
Yeah.
loop. So then we'll have a full functional track for guys to come in and actually run meets or run practice, multiple teams. And then we also want to expand on our recovery room. So in a nutshell, we'd like to have a larger facility, even though we're thankful for this one. I mean, we're 14,000 square feet here. But we definitely would ideally think like, hey, maybe even go 2 floors. You know, maybe ceilings are still open, but you've kind of got the railing around the outside. And then we always like glass doors or glass windows.
Agreed.
So one day, I know you guys have probably seen like Oregon or Nike facilities out
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
We would like to have that same platform filled with the same things, the same culture, the same atmosphere, the same energy.
Awesome.
The way you guys are going, man, I don't think it's gonna take that long.
We're hoping, man.
Every year, you've seen the parking lot.
Yeah, I know. We're pushing.
Get busy.
We're pushing.
Yeah.
Exciting. We're your biggest fans. We really, I think you probably would be embarrassed to know how much we reference you guys and talk about you.
Same here.
It's a great story. So the last little bit here, you guys aren't just trainers.
No.
You aren't just in the gym. It's not all about the workout. You've got things you do outside,
Yep.
right? So talk a little bit about what come in here, you get your workout in, you make sure everything's in line, you get your high-end guys. What outside of this area are your passions and where you guys go?
Yeah, you know what? I'm big in church, so you know when it comes down to to church, just spiritually, you know, I'm always trying to promote a positive or be influenced for somebody or mentor others, kids. And I believe it don't matter how old you are, everybody's got a form of wisdom. So outside of the gym, obviously I'm a trainer here and work out and sweat, but outside of here, man, I like to spend time with my family. You know, I'm always trying to go to somebody's house or out with the friends, but in a positive manner, you know, try to learn from each other, you know, but share experiences, help us get through life. I'm a big hockey fan, so I play hockey. So, yeah, no. I don't know if we can say this on film, but there's not too many African Americans playing hockey. But I play hockey.
There's not?
I don't
even know that.
So hockey is the good thing. I'd love to do that outside of here. So if I'm not in the gym, I'm either with the wife, okay, I might be at church, or playing hockey. So or hanging with the kids somewhere, you know, going to elementary school, middle school, you know, talking or speaking over there, and just helping those kids understand, like, hey, what's to prepare for.
Listen, man, you're being humble too.
Yeah, that's it.
Right? I'm going to tell you. So not only you're into hockey, but you take a vested interest in the athletes that you're training. My son being included, right? So I'm going to say my son's been here. He's trained with you many, many times. Right now, he's in season form, but that ends in like 3 weeks, and he's going to be right back in here to train with you and Pete and getting this everything going because the off season starts right after the regular season. Jared, you come to his games, you'll watch,
Yes.
you'll focus on his technique, you'll see, little things, and then you'll work on that in the gym. These are on like a Sunday afternoon.
It's important.
And you're
That's
asking me
important.
when
It's
his
an
game.
important
Oh, it's great. It's great. And I can tell you that he notices when you're there. I think he works just a little bit harder. A little bit harder when he sees you at the
Always
glass.
good to know you got a little audience, right?
Yeah,
You got
exactly.
somebody watching,
Exactly.
you
He's
know,
like,
so-
oh man, Jared's gonna kick my butt if I
Man,
don't.
it's always good to see those kids, man, excel. You know, you work so hard in the gym, and then outside of here is where it really pays off.
And I see you guys on your social media pages. You really promote the athletes well that are working out here. Whether it's a 14-year-old kid that just made state, or it's somebody that just got their D1 scholarship, and they're signing their papers. I mean, or it's a pro athlete that's coming in here in the off season, or somebody. It's great, man.
We won't
It's really
tell Brian that in Texas we don't say we made state, nor are we in grade 7. We went to state.
Went to
You're in
state.
Texas.
You went
All
to
right.
state?
Yeah, we went to state. Yeah. I will point out, so Brian and I both grew up in the church as well. I immediately recognized the Steadfast name. So, and for those of you who didn't, Steadfast is a New Testament reference. It talks about Christ. And so being steadfast goes everything that you guys are talking about, both inside the gym and outside. I think that that's a lot of what our commonality is, in that we don't want to get much bigger than we are either in terms of personnel. Because for us, it's about our little team, us growing. We want to grow business for sure.
Absolutely.
And we want to grow our footprint, but we want to do it the way we want to do it with our people. And I can tell you, we can't make another Brian in Bolivia, right? We can't make another Brian in Australia. You can't make another Isaiah, in Alabama. So I think that's important, because a lot of the times, just speaking from a business standpoint, and I'm as much this as everything, like bigger, more. And having been through that and through that process, you kind of realize, you know what, I like what we do. I like our game that we play. I like our little team. And, if you've got business partners that really are aligned and are started from the same passion, drive through the same way, man, does it show. So, again, we appreciate you guys. So everybody, Jared, the chief over here, Dr. Brian Fields, we're in 801 Hammond. You guys are in the corner suite. We're in the little bitty suite down the way, doing our thing. So come see these guys, really. You got a young athlete you want to train. You got a young person you want to get healthy. Jared with having, pretty recently, relatively, learning to deal with diabetes, but still in there, look at him, specimen every day. And so come get a taste of these guys. Come enjoy this track and just every part of this environment. You are, give us Instagram, give us website.
Yes,
give us
so
the rundown.
Instagram is Steadfast FP. That's also the Twitter. That's the IG, like I said. Website also Steadfast FP.
Steadfast FP. So go get these guys on Instagram. Go see us. We're at Rubcorp, at Rubcorp1, Facebook, Instagram, across the platforms. Also, don't forget, I'll say something about the website, although I hope you see it before then. We got our new website that's just coming on board. So new function. You're going to see some of these guys' services on here, and a lot of people in services similar to that across the country. And really the world. So we're excited about that. We're always excited to be in the gym with Isaiah and Jared, and love this place. Chief, I'll give you last word.
Last word, I'm just going to say be steadfast, guys. Thank you, Jared.
Yep, be steadfast.
Appreciate you coming out.
Yep.
Thank you for having us.
Appreciate you guys.
Thank you.